And then you guys stop.
It was like my parents just walked in on me or something.
I know, right?
Guys, they're listening.
I wasn't jacking off. I swear.
It just itched real bad. Just new laundry detergent on the blanket.
Yeah.
I have a really bad cold.
Yeah. You know how it works, man.
You guys.
Steve, you feeling better though, right?
I'm feeling better. I'm tip top.
We've all seen your wife's posts about your health. We were worried about you.
I vomited all over the dining room floor. It was so bad. We got a big dining room.
All over the floor?
I couldn't make it, man. That's as far as I got. I think we ate some bad spaghetti, but I'm not sure.
Uh-oh.
And does pasta really go bad?
Well, when it was in the refrigerator for like a week and a half. So, and we separate the sauce and the noodles, so we put them in there separate. But she put sausage in the in the spaghetti. So we think the sausage.
She put the lime in the coconut.
Yeah.
The sausage was in the refrigerator for a week and a half.
Yeah, it was cooked, but
yeah.
So we think that might have been. I don't know if it was a week and a half. It was around a week or so. But yeah, it wasn't good. I mean, it tasted.
Pretty sure the health department recommends 3 days max.
Yeah, well, that's what we recommend now too.
Yeah, well, those Alcorns, they like to flirt with disaster there, Matt.
Yeah, but I mean, who hasn't as a teenager or a person in their 20s who makes poor decisions in life, hasn't ordered a pizza and just ate off of it for 3 days while it just sat on the kitchen counter.
Oh, hell yeah.
Right, yeah.
I do that to this day.
Yeah. I don't think I could handle it anymore.
Oh, come on now. Don't be afraid.
I'll tell you, it was no fun. That's all I know. And I'm not going to do it again. It's going to be a while before we even make spaghetti again. So,
yeah, that'd be a rough one.
Yeah.
Well, you boys ready to get this show on the road?
Hell yeah.
This experiment, as we'll say?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Steve Alcorn's a fine investigator.
Oh, fuck off.
This is the Fortean Slip with your host, Chris York.
I don't need porn, Chris. I have a good woman.
Listen, I have a good woman. I still watch porn.
Co-host, Steve Alcorn.
You are the top shit in Bigfootery if you get the invitation.
Oh, are you?
I've gotten the invitation 2 years in a row now, Chris.
Wow, not me.
And sometimes special guest, Matt Knapp.
It's part of growing older, maturing. Makes me more dignified and stuff. Okay, George Washington. I opted for the.
Is that what meth addicts say?
That make me more dignified.
Taking on all things strange since 2013.
Wait a minute.
I don't know what the hell.
Are you saying that he's pregnant?
Possibly.
Was he implanted by one of these teenage aliens?
Did that happen to Arnold?
This device, which comes as part of Nintendo's Quality of Life initiative, is
going to have kids running around banging their heads off bricks.
Yeah.
You're about to witness the strength of creep knowledge.
Good evening, and welcome to the Fortean Slip. This is episode 73, What You Missed While Watching Game of Thrones. Welcome to the show. Steve has been under the weather. We don't know what to do to make him feel back to his normal self. He says he feels fine, but I feel that your energy level is down, Steve. Doesn't make me happy.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. I need high energy Steve. I need the legend of Sweetwater, Steve.
Come on.
I need slinging dick Steve Alcorn.
Haven't you had enough of that yet?
No, Steve. When have you ever learned that I get enough of a good bit? Come on now. You know you can pull it off.
The Sweetwater legend chalice shall never overflow.
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
It's here to stay, Steve. It's here to stay.
All right.
It's here to stay, my friend. You get and you get to coast this week, Steve.
Okay.
This isn't your vehicle. This is you're in cruise control. You're not even in the shotgun position. You're in the back smoking weed.
I don't smoke weed. And
no, metaphorically, Steve. Steve, metaphorically.
Yeah,
we're a group of guys. We're driving, and you're in the back just token, and you don't have a care in the world this week.
But you don't understand. I don't smoke weed, number one. So the metaphor doesn't work for me. And number two, if I ride in the back, I'll get sick.
Well, we'll give you some Dramamine or something.
It doesn't help.
What do we do, man?
That's why
we'll strap him to the fucking hood.
He said bad spaghetti, but I think this might be demonic possession.
I think it could be. The power of Christ might need to compel you, Steve.
It hasn't before, but we can try. Actually, there was a time in my life that the power of Christ might have compelled me, but nowadays maybe not.
What's your name, demon?
Yeah.
Luigi.
Well, Steve, I mean, I'm just trying to make a metaphor. Like, this is not we're actually going to be in a car. The three of us. It's a metaphor, Steve.
I don't know that I want to
can you do this with me? Can you go down this road with me?
All right. Well, see, now you're making more car.
He doesn't want to have drug usage in his metaphors.
He doesn't understand.
He has to be square even in his metaphorical speech.
You're drinking spring water in the back seat, Steve.
I don't drink spring water.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You're drinking a beverage of your choice, Steve.
Okay, coffee.
You're drinking coffee. You're in the front seat. You don't feel sick at all. The point being, you're not behind the wheel.
Yeah, but then I get nervous when other people do.
You're asleep in the back seat, Steve. We're on a road trip.
You just took some Ambien. Don't worry, Steve. You're going to do something crazy like Roseanne Barr, and we're going to have to apologize.
You might wake up with like a dick drawn on your forehead or something, but don't worry about it.
It's all right. Everything's good.
All right. I suppose I can agree with that.
Listen, the new Legend of Sweetwater tattoo that you have across your back, it's all good. So
he says no to smoking weed, but yes to a dick on his forehead.
Yeah, he's also yes to that. Why would I even? No.
Let the court record state.
Yes. Let the record show.
Alcorn went pro cock on forehead.
I did not.
Negative on the medicinal marijuana.
Yes. As a metaphor.
Can we just get on with it?
So, we're getting on with it.
All right.
Steve's in the back self-medicating.
Yes, as he should be. I mean, Oh yeah. So as I predicted, by the way, gentlemen, the wonderful fan of the show, I am now going to refer to him as Fuck Dean Cooper. Fuck Dean Cooper is the only person to complain because the shirt has a polyester blend to it and it makes his skin itch and it sticks to his skin. But did I not call it, Matt, that would be the complaint that I would get was from fucking him.
Pin it on the wall.
Yeah.
Throw it in a drawer. Don't ever wear it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And you can't make everybody happy.
I thought the shirts came out great. I'm wearing mine now.
You can't control what product the shirt company chose to use. Like you have some stipulations that you have to abide by.
I'm sure if he would have looked at the website close enough, he would have found that they were a polyester blend shirt. I'm sure of it. I'm gonna go look now. Oh, we can't. Never mind.
Yes, you can. You can go to the Bonfire website. But anyway, be that as it may, I thought that the shirts were of a lot better quality than I thought they would be. I thought they came out well. The image I thought transferred very well. It didn't lose too much in the transfer of Fred's artwork, and I thought that was super important. And everything's legible and visible, and I like it. It came out great, and I do like how the orange stands out on the blue, and I think we nailed that. And that was Matt and I just going back and forth on the fucking orange.
Oh, jeez. Like two like angry homos on ecstasy or something.
Yeah, it was fucking bad. But I think it came out great, and it worked out perfectly. So I'm glad everybody likes the shirt except for Dean, and that's okay. But yeah, I called it. I thought I knew for sure it would happen. And the only reason that I went with the blue was because of the color choice that we had chosen with the orange, and we wanted to offset it on the blue. That's why I didn't use any other colors. I just wanted a specific scheme. So I apologize for that. Moving forward. Matt's vehicle.
Oh, wait, Matt's driving?
Matt is driving. This is all Matt tonight.
Ugh.
All Matt all the time.
Come on.
All Matt all the time.
Steve,
What?
pop quiz.
Yeah.
What premieres tonight?
Does it have anything to do with the topic of the show?
I just asked the question, Steve.
Well, I have no fucking clue.
Oh, gee.
I don't know what premieres tonight. I don't watch TV.
The final season of Game of Thrones.
Oh, Game of Thrones. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I knew that.
The final season, Steve.
What kind of viewership do you think this season finale premiere will get? How many millions of people do you think are tuning in tonight on HBO?
1.3.
No. Way off.
Steve,
9.7.
Warmer, yeah.
I don't know.
Steve, it's going to be pretty fucking huge.
Yeah, it's
A
going to be
lot.
millions of people.
Millions.
Except for people who have, like, what is it, Dish TV or whatever. Like, those poor bastards are screwed. But anyway. But
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, it has become iconic.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Dude, my
It's
son
like
came
huge.
home from school. He has never even watched Game of Thrones, okay? He came home from school, came over one weekend, and he brought, they have a 3D printer at his school. And he had made a 3D image of the throne. The fucking throne of all the swords.
oh, yeah.
Wait,
I
there's
was
an
like-
actual throne?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it
It's
is
made
the
out of
Game
all the swords.
Thrones.
Well, yeah, but I thought that was just a name or something. Huh.
It's about this game they play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called Thrones.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you get it now, Steve?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Are you in?
No.
Oh, okay. That's good. We like it when you're not in.
I'm not in it at all.
Okay. But yes, it's become very iconic. There's friggin' pop figures and fucking crazy shit. I got a dragon egg on my desk.
Yeah. I mean, it was basically done like, a huge cinematic event. Like, they dumped a lot of money into the creation of this show.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's like, I'm not saying personally it's up there with Tolkien, but like it's comparable, I would say, in a lot of ways to like, the Hobbit storyline in movies that you would see, except it's broken up into episodes.
It's a great story. I mean, I've read most of it, and it's a
Did
great.
you read the books before it came out on TV?
No, I I started reading the books and then started watching the show. And the problem was like the first season follows the book, like the very first book, like almost to a T. It is pretty spot fucking on. There's very little deviation. And then after that, it kind of goes, and it starts slowly, and then it goes so far awry that I was just like, I can't do it anymore. So I had to bail on it. And it sucks because I really love the books and I enjoyed the show, but it just the two of them I couldn't. So I don't know. I kind of think I'm waiting for it all to come out so that I can just watch it all as one thing. And the other thing is that George R.R. Martin, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Robert Jordan died. And like his series, The Wheel of Time, like I waited and waited and waited and waited and waited for those fucking books. And he died and somebody else had to finish them. And Martin's doing the same bullshit. He's taking forever to write these books.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, I understand that they're artists, they're creating this thing and everything, but it's just like, fuck, man.
I don't know, man.
I kind of tapped out, and I'm like, if he finishes them, I'll read them, but I want a definitive end that isn't being told by somebody else.
I mean, I don't know the details of the contracts or anything, but I think old Martin might have gotten a little bit of laziness on that HBO money.
Like a little jingle in his pocket and then taking some time off.
Like, I don't need to write the book right now. I mean, this took forever, getting to this point of the final season.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, I'm under the understanding that like,
and the show looks amazing. Like the stuff they do with the White Walkers, the dragons, everything. It's all been amazing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And there's a lot of other things as well. So it's not just all of this CGI bullshit. They interwove a really good story. I mean, and he told a really good story too, the author.
Yes.
So it's not like it's not a horrible story.
It's definitely beyond anything else that I can think of that's ever happened on TV.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just the different storylines that are taking place and woven together. I mean, he, created a whole world with culture and history and everything. And it's really been an amazing undertaking to see in our lifetimes, for sure. And like I said, now it's become a cultural icon. I mean, you can't go anywhere without somebody, winter is coming,
Oh yeah.
That's where that's from?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's where that's from.
Winter's coming and going and coming and going and coming and going.
Huh.
And coming.
A meme I posted recently.
And going.
Because it just won't stop fucking snowing this year.
And like the White Walkers are scary.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing that I liked, especially about the books or the show, the show, mirrors, the first season anyway, mirrors the books or the book. There's not a lot of that stuff in there. It's in there, but it's not crazy. Like there's a scene in the very beginning of the book. There's like a couple of scenes throughout, and then at the end of the book. And I mean, for those of you who don't know, spoiler alert, pretty much everybody knows there's dragons. At the end of the book, the dragons hatch. And I won't say how, but so there's not a lot of that really mystical stuff thrown in your face in the book. A lot of it's a lot of intrigue and people playing off one another and fucking with one another, and it's really well done.
Right.
And when he writes it from perspective. So each individual chapter is the name of the person that the perspective is from. So it goes from person to person.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's how the story's told.
I mean, I can see how they've kind of done that on the show as well, where they'll skip around and focus on different characters.
Yeah.
And, different episodes would be like, this week we're focusing on these, next week we're focusing on those. But one of the things that I thought, at least the show, I haven't read any of the books, as you know, but with the show, one of the things that they've done really well is create characters that you have emotional interest in. Emotional investment. Especially,
and the book does that too.
Especially whenever it comes to the characters who are assholes.
Yeah.
Like whenever they do a villain right. You hate the person.
Oh yeah. The other there's an author that did that very well, I thought, was Terry Goodkind. And his villains were motherfuckers. Just horrible people. And you hated them while you were seething. Like there's one guy who was torturing people and collecting women's nipples and people's nipples, and
ow.
Yeah, they just weird ass fucking people, dude. It just got so bad. Like I was like, how is he gonna top it with the next fucking book? What? How could he fucking make a villain any worse than what he already did? And it was bad. But yeah, and Martin did the same type of thing, and it transferred well to the show.
Yeah.
As far as those types of things were concerned, like those villains, those people that you didn't like, but there were also people that you started off not liking that you were like, oh, wait a minute. Like I can't think of the brother, Jaime Lannister.
Yeah.
Jaime Lannister is one of those characters that, and I'm not not saying anything that's going to fuck anything up for anybody who hasn't watched the show or anything, but he's one of those characters that you hate.
And rightfully so.
In the very beginning of the show, you fucking hate him. And over time, you're like, oh dear God, this fucking poor fucking dude. And you realize like some of the shit that he had to do.
Yeah.
In his life, and the things that he was basically not forced to do, but his hand was forced, and it's just you wind up having empathy for the man, or this character, this fictional character who's just this bastard in the beginning.
Yeah, which you wouldn't understand at the beginning of the series,
right?
Like
at the beginning
like, there's no way. I hope he dies next season.
Yeah. And I hope they castrate him, dude. Oh no, that's the other guy. But that fucking show is brutal.
I mean, I'll tell you exactly what got me. I was used to the classic layout of storytelling, and there's this the king of the north, and he's a badass, and here's his family, and here's all the things he's dealing with, and war is eventually coming. And
actually, if you start off in the beginning, Stark, the old man Stark, is not the king of the north. He's like a ward,
right?
And it isn't until his son, after his death, that his son takes up the mantle of the king of the north.
Right. Whenever everybody pledges their allegiance.
Right.
But it's just the fact that, like, right out the gate, you're following the main hero of the story, and then they just kill him.
Yeah, that one threw me when I read the book. I was just like, what?
Like, that's it? Like,
what?
There's nobody else to go to from there,
right? I mean, so they really just kind of throw you for a loop there, but they do that a lot
Yeah.
a lot. But if you're paying attention and when you're reading the book and you're watching the show, you realize that those aren't the characters that were meant to be important all along. Like,
Right.
the characters that are meant to be important, they're foreshadowed early on. If you're paying attention, if you're not, just dubbing off as you're reading, watching, you can see how it's starting to unfold. But it was a great, overall it's a great story. And like I said, if he ever finishes it, I'll read it.
If.
Right. That's the thing. And I don't want to get Robert Jordan again. I don't want to wind up, waiting for the next book and then, oh, he died.
Yeah. J.K. Rowling's taking over.
Because, and not, with Robert Jordan, Brandon Sanderson took over and wrote the last 3 books based on his notes and picking his wife's brain, who was, with him every step of the way. And he dictated a lot of stuff to her before he died. And he didn't do a horrible job. But at the same time, it's like the guy that wrote it, I didn't get to, I didn't get to read his ending.
Right.
And it kind of stripped it from me. It's really weird. It caused this thing. So I have 2 books of Robert Jordan's that I have sitting that I've never read. And it's been hard for me. Like, there's been certain times I've wanted to pick them up because I loved his writing style. And one of them is like 3 Conan novels. And I want to, and I want to read them, but at the same time, it's like, this will be the last thing of his I ever get to read, that I only have these 2 things. I think there's a couple other things that he wrote, but it just sucks, but anyway.
What do you think, Steve?
Yeah. What do you think, Steve? Where are you on all this Game of Thrones stuff?
Well, there are some limited edition games of Game of Thrones Oreos that I could probably resell and make.
Yeah, you think so? You think so? Well, how do you feel about incest?
It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good stuff. No. I thought
not
I
at
was
all.
coasting this week.
You're coasting.
Well, then why are you asking me questions about something I have no idea about?
Well, you can still take part in the conversation.
Oh,
Yeah, because
I was
there's
looking up
incest.
Oreos.
Because
man.
there's incest in the show, Steve.
I don't. That's no.
Yeah, no, there is.
I mean, yeah, but no.
Oh, okay.
Incest isn't good.
No.
No, not at all.
Okay.
I do not condone that.
Okay.
Do you read books, Steve?
Not lately.
Okay. Well, I mean, is there any like what kind of books do you like?
Hmm.
Tom Clancy.
No. Nah.
He did read that Stephen King book on the JFK thing.
Yeah, well, I didn't read it. It was an audiobook. My eyes
he
don't
listened
work
to it.
very
He
well.
listened
anymore.
to it. Matt. Your
Audiobook.
You just got a new iPhone. What are you talking about? Your iPhone doesn't work.
I said my eyes don't work very well to
I heard
read
you wrong.
on a page.
You read any fantasy?
No, I've never been into that. Well, depends on what type of fantasy you mean.
Oh,
but-
Jesus fucking Christ. See what you did? You see what you done, Nat?
I wanted to jerk it back into my mouth as soon as it came out.
I know. Exactly.
I've read that one, yeah. No, I'm more of a
dick.
more of real type stuff that could actually have happened. That's what I like.
This could happen
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a different dimension.
Sure.
I have no idea anything about the Game of Thrones. I did learn tonight that there is a throne and possibly a game that is associated with
Right,
it.
with the Thrones.
Right. That's
Yes.
it. That's all I know.
That's all you know?
Yeah.
That's all you got?
That's it. Well, my wife's son enjoys the show.
Game of Thrones. Not this show, the Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, nobody likes the show.
Yeah, nobody likes this show, Steve. Steve, I agree.
So, as a good stepdad, I guess.
Yeah.
I decided it would be okay to, download the entire series off the torrent sites, and
Yeah.
HBO didn't care for that,
Yeah.
and contacted my internet service provider. And,
Oh.
so that doesn't happen
Steve.
anymore.
Steve, doing a little bit of pirate in there, Steve.
So that's the only association with the Game of Thrones I have.
And of course, you can't afford the $15 a month to just watch it.
Oh no,
no,
we don't have.
Listen,
television.
man, I want to explain something to you. These men who are well-to-do, they're very finicky about how they spend their money. And
instead of buying like a sports car or something, he's like got a monocle and a new walking cane and
right. No,
top hat.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a monocle. Thanks for the thought.
Oh, Jesus. It's happening, Matt, before our very eyes.
Right now, he's turning into the Monopoly man.
I'll probably
Before
go
our
to a
eyes.
yard sale, just get a pair of old glasses and take the glass out and make a monocle out of it. But
And then resell it.
well, yeah,
Yeah, on eBay. You're the best, Steve.
I am.
That's why we have you here.
All right, can I go back to coasting now?
Yeah, you go. You go.
Just for the sake of the integrity of the show.
Okay.
Well, I mean, some might think the title of the show is a little clickbaity.
It is. I'm sure.
So we should add some content to make it an honest endeavor.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So
Right
we
on.
actually have a list of things
Ah,
that you
Steve
probably
can shove up his ass. Oh.
yeah, a list of things that Steve can fit with no lubrication.
In his rectum. Number 1.
But no, some things that you missed.
Sorry, Steve.
Things that you missed while watching Game of Thrones. That's what the title is, right?
yes, sir.
Number 1, this show. You probably missed.
Right. You probably weren't paying
show.
attention to the Fortean Slip.
Right. What do you think, Steve?
I would think that that's an accurate statement.
Okay.
Statistically speaking, Steve?
Yes, the
Okay,
numbers show that Matt is correct.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate your input. You're great. We'll call on you again soon.
Okay, I'll just coast.
Okay.
This is me coasting.
Item number 1, Chris.
Yes, sir.
The opening credits show where the episode takes place.
Does?
That's the claim. Now, the opening of the show.
I thought the opening of the show just kind of like goes over everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, but they always have a focus on the specific area where that episode is going to take place at.
That I've never seen or never noticed, I should say.
But the opening of the show has also become iconic on its own.
Yes.
I mean, it's even been like mimicked by The Simpsons.
Oh, they've done all kinds of different fucking versions of it. Yeah.
The creative minds behind that opening really hit it out of the park. And all it is like a map that kind of springs up into 3D forms.
Yeah.
And
With like the castles and shit.
yeah. And it's all kind of like clockwork and stuff, gears and mechanisms and but it's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the music's great.
According to the information I have at hand, it says you're forgiven if you skip over the long intro each week. But in doing so, you've missed out on finding out which areas and which characters are going to be focused on that week. It's not the same every time. However, there is a specific rule. Every episode's map must contain King's Landing, Winterfell, the Wall, and wherever Daenerys is at the moment.
Well, yeah.
Oh, you know who that is?
No.
I'm surprised.
The mother of dragons, Steve.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah.
I got
Now
my
this
dragon.
one-
I got my dragon egg right here, Steve.
Is
You
that where the
did.
dragon egg thing came from?
That's where the dragon egg thing came
Yeah,
from.
because I wanted to have my own dragon egg.
Okay.
He's going to hatch a dragon.
I'm gonna send it to eat a guy named Steve Alcorn.
You set your oven for 250 degrees.
That's right, and I'll melt the styrofoam inside the. I'll have a really big mess in the oven.
Now, one of the things that the show has also become famous for is putting heads on spikes.
Ah,
I happened to watch The Walking Dead,
yes.
and during the finale episodes of this past season, they took a play from the Game of Thrones playbook, kind of a little shout out, if you will, and did the whole heads on sticks thing. It was kind of cool. But we're not talking about we're not talking about The Walking Dead. But yeah, so they put a lot of heads on spikes. Whenever they kill people in the show, their head usually ends up on a spike on display for everyone to see. Are you paying attention, Steve?
Yes, sir. Well,
Okay.
It's thundering outside, so I'm getting a little scared. But
He is
keep
scared.
going.
You'll be all right. In the series, you probably missed that George W. Bush's head has been on the spike. Yeah.
Is that a political statement of some sort? I'm guessing.
They say no. I
Oh,
find
come
that
on now.
difficult to believe. According to the guys responsible, this is George Bush's head appears in a couple of beheading scenes. It's not a choice. It's not a political statement. We just had to use whatever head we had around.
Uh-huh.
So I guess,
It's a political.
you know, they had a limited amount of heads that they had on hand, and George W. Bush's head happened to be one of them.
Why? Wait.
Gotta put my head on a spike.
Why
Daddy?
did they have
Daddy, my
George
head's on a
W.
spike,
Bush's head in the first place?
I don't know. But HBO, of course, got called out on it
Oh, yeah.
and, released a statement. We were deeply dismayed to see this and find it unacceptable, disrespectful, and in very bad taste. We made this clear to the executive producers of the series, who apologized immediately for this inadvertent, careless mistake. We are sorry this happened and will have it removed from any future DVD production.
Who just happens to have George W. Bush's head laying around? That's what I
You
want
never,
to know.
Steve. You never know when you might need it.
I know, but I mean,
You never
he hasn't
know.
been president for a long time. Just saying.
Well, there's a whole nother topic that we could spin off on, Steve.
Okay.
Ask Kathy Griffin where you
No.
had
I'd
president.
rather not. Whether I agreed with her politically or not, I don't know. No.
But they did, put a wig on George's head and everything. I mean,
Oh,
you can
well,
definitely tell it's him.
good on them for the wig. Come
Oh,
on,
yeah, they
man.
tried to hide it. Yeah, sure. I'm sure.
Good on them.
But I'm just saying, is that like, okay, so they had to use whatever head they had access to. That's their claim. So, like, George W. Bush happened to be the only famous person's head they had on hand. And, like, they were forced to use it. They couldn't make, like, another one or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the show, there's a guy named Littlefinger.
Yes, Littlefinger.
Not to be confused with the Legend of Sweetwater, obviously.
That's right. Not even fucking close to the
Everything. Nothing about me is little.
Wow, is that the
You see,
thunder?
like,
That is. I told you I was getting scared. There was
He's gonna
thunder
die.
outside.
he's
I might die. There was a tornado watch and all that stuff.
He's going to turn into the Flash tonight.
Listen, I'm so dedicated to this show. There was a tornado watch, and I'm still in here doing it.
Well, a tornado watch doesn't mean anything.
I know, but it sounded impressive.
Okay. Not when you live in Oklahoma.
Or this part of Ohio.
I'll shut down the show whenever sirens are going off.
Right. When we hear the tornado warning sirens, we'll shut you down, Steve. We'll
Well, I might
tell you to
shut
get
down
into
anyway.
we'll tell you to get into the basement, Bubba.
Yeah.
Don't you worry.
Oh, the
You got a
basement. Right
basement?
next door. Yeah. Well, yeah. I live in Ohio. I have to have a basement. It's required.
That's right.
To hide the bodies? Why is it required in Ohio?
I don't know. We stored George W. Bush heads down there, I guess. I don't know.
That's a bold statement, dude.
Well, they seem to be pretty plentiful.
On Game of Thrones.
Well, yeah, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I was trying to make a joke. It didn't work. Move
Didn't
on.
work, Steve. Yes, let's move on.
Littlefinger can predict the future.
Uh-huh.
Does the book say that?
I don't think I got to a point where it got into it, no.
They never actually say it in the show either, but they're saying he was quoted saying, people die at their dinner tables, they die in their beds, they die squatting over their chamber pots. Everybody dies sooner or later.
Mhm.
And they were saying that although Joffrey's death had already happened at that point, it foreshadows the deaths of Shay and Tywin.
Yeah.
Tywin being killed by death over the toilet.
Right.
So I guess that, yeah, I guess a little writer's note or something. But I don't think it was really meant to be him predicting the future. But maybe he is. Maybe, who knows?
Maybe he's a prophet.
Dario loves Monty Python.
This one I know nothing about. You got me.
Yeah, I don't know. George R.R. Martin had already written a funny nod to Monty Python in A Dance with Dragons when a character mentioned that the Unsullied don't break and run when someone farts in their general direction. In the show, Dario, or Dario, whichever way you want to pronounce it, defends Daenerys from a Milanese champion. Is that right?
Yes.
We'll go with it.
Okay,
We'll go with
cutting
it
his
tonight.
head off, but not before he's offered a classic John Cleese insult. Speaking in the fictional
Go fuck
language,
yourself.
he apparently says, "Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries."
Uh-huh.
From the Holy Grail.
Yep.
But he said it in a fictional language that nobody understands. I wonder what Klingons have said that we don't know about, except for really nerdy people that speak Klingon.
You never know.
There's a whole Klingon to English dictionary. You could figure it out.
Oh, you know that, but you don't know this.
Well, I used to be a big Star Trek fan. I don't watch Game of Thrones. I mean, come on.
He's not a Game of
Barely
Thrones guy.
I barely know who Monty Python was or that whole thing.
Apparently, some
There's a
Winterfell
rocket
scenes
Cowboy. That's
were
all I know.
also shot at the same castle that was used for Monty Python's Castle Anthrax.
Mm.
Okay, we're going to talk about the throne, Steve.
Ooh, yay! I heard there's swords.
Yes, and one of those swords is Gandalf's.
Ah,
Yes.
Lord of the Rings.
They hid Gandalf's sword within the other swords in the main throne, the iconic throne. That is the image of Game of Thrones. There are also swords from Kingdom of Hedovan and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Nice.
So maybe they just had to use whatever swords they had laying around.
Damn Skippy.
You
That's
get
the way
that,
I do
Steve? You get what I did there?
I see what you did there, and it's probably, they could probably use that and say, see, we just had to reuse some props.
Steve's
Because,
into that
the budget of this
repurposing
show
stuff.
is so low.
Steve's all about reusing and
Yeah,
resell.
reusing,
Yeah.
repurpose, resell.
Yes. Yeah. Steve's all in now, man.
I don't know about this next one.
Uh-oh.
You a big gamer, Steve?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You ever
No.
played Destiny?
No.
I
I
haven't.
played Super Mario.
Okay. Well, this isn't about that.
Okay.
Peter Dinklage gave a nod to Destiny. It hasn't been officially confirmed. In a season 5 episode, Tyrion is seen sitting in front of a window, which looks rather familiar. In fact, it looks like Dinklage's character Ghost from the Destiny video game before he was replaced after critical players said he sounded bored. Dinklage is seen staring directly out of the window with the only source of light pouring through from the outside. Was it deliberate?
Hmm.
Steve, was it?
Yes.
Steve has no idea what's going on.
He has no clue whatsoever. I don't know what it is that you speak of. I do know of Destiny. I never played it, but
Right. So he played the ghost character, which I
Mhm.
think is like the little flying robot companion.
yeah,
And it looks like a window that he sat next to in the series.
right. So they think people think
And they
it's
think it's
odd.
connected, yeah, because, Dinklage was replaced from the video game. Why they would replace him, I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be kind of foolish.
You're
supposed to protect us.
Yeah.
Oh.
The R plus L equals J theory was confirmed early on. This was a big theory about who Jon Snow's parents were, wasn't it? Isn't that what the big fuss was about?
Yeah, it's alluded to early on who he is, who he really is.
The producers were clearly aware of the huge fan theory that has been confirmed that Jon Snow is actually the son of Rhaegar Targaryen and Lyanna Stark.
Right. So he was actually I can't remember the old man Stark's name. It was his sister. It was his nephew. He's his nephew.
Right.
So he was still a Stark.
Benjen Stark.
Yeah.
But apparently, the producers of the show actually put R plus L equals J carved into a wall in one of the scenes.
Huh.
Ain't that something?
That is something. That is something. Well,
You listen to
Johnny boy.
Coldplay?
I have.
Big fan of Coldplay, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I've heard of them.
Well, Coldplay's drummer was actually in the band at the Red Wedding.
Nice.
Little cameo there.
Nice.
There's actually several cameos, apparently.
Yeah, a lot of those shows like that will do shit like that, though.
Yeah, I don't even know who this one is. Sigur Rós, an Icelandic trio, can be seen playing the Red Wedding anthem, The Rains of Castamere, at Joffrey's request. Sadly for them, Joffrey wasn't so impressed by their progressive folk style and proceeded to pelt them with food. This would be the band playing at what became known as the Purple Wedding. One thing about the Game of Thrones universe, avoid the North and avoid weddings.
Yes. Stay the fuck away from the weddings.
If you get a wedding invite, no RSVP.
Yeah. Stay home.
Snow Patrol's Gary Lightbody sang a ditty. Another band's frontman made a cameo in the show and actually sang during his on-screen performance. For anybody that cares. Mastodon. I know who Mastodon is.
Hell yeah, Mastodon.
They made cameos as White Walkers.
Nice.
Ain't that something?
That I
There
did
they
not
are
know.
Right there. I can see them, but you can't.
Mm.
Yeah, the episode where Jon Snow and the Wildlings took on the White Walkers. Some of those said Wildlings became part of the Army of the Dead. Well, 3 of them were played by Mastodon members.
No shit.
Bill Kelleher, Brent Hines, and Bran Daler.
Nice.
That's neat. I had no idea.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Bran Daler later said of the experience, I watched my best friends Brent and Bill murdered right in front of me as I myself was stabbed in the stomach and had my throat slit multiple times, and I didn't mind at all. It made me love being a Mastodon even more. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
George R.R. Martin slips in lots of football references. Did not know that. he has placed a couple of cheeky references to his beloved New York Giants into the books. In Dance with Dragons, he writes, "The galley was also where the ship's books were kept. The fourth and final volume of the life of the Triarch Bellico, a famous Volantine patriot, whose unbroken succession of conquests and triumphs ended rather abruptly when he was eaten by giants." This is a reference to the New York Giants Super Bowl victory over the previously undefeated New England Patriots and their head coach, of course, Bill Belichick. Also, the Giant 1-1 gets his name from former Giants quarterback Phil Simms, who wore number 11 on his jersey. 1-1. I get it now.
Steve got that one.
Steve,
I did. I finally got something.
There you go,
that
Steve.
Was applauding myself.
Yeah.
Well, I know a little bit about football.
Steve, I'm glad you're on board. You make every
really
Sunday. Steve, just your presence. I mean, you make every Sunday for me. Just it's a joy, Steve. Come on now.
An absolute joy.
Absolute joy.
This is our church, and you're our preacher.
That's right, Steve. This is what you bring to me.
Another Father Dowling mystery.
Hey, Father Dowling was a good show. Now, if you would have said the things I've missed about Father Dowling, I would have known them all.
Yeah.
What about the Three Stooges and the Game of Thrones?
Oh, whoa, that was a great show, the Three Stooges.
In the first book, they have three characters, three knights, and their names are Laris, Mohor, and Curliket. Clearly a Westeros take on Larry, Moe, and Curly.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly. Oberyn's demise was teased way in advance. If you had read the books, then you knew full well that the crushing end of Oberyn Martell was coming at the hands of the Mountain. I remember when that happened in the show. Had his head crushed. For the rest of us, we still had no idea, even when actors, Pedro Pascal and Lena Headey. Is it Lena or Lena?
I think it's Lena.
Lena?
Yeah, I want to say it's Lena Headey.
Lena Headey. They posted a picture on Pinterest or something, and she's like squeezing his head with her thumbs on his eyes.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Dragon Slayer and Game of Thrones are in the same universe. What?
Yeah.
Of course, not really.
Oh, duh.
But there was a dragon, apparently in both, that had the same name as the dragon in Dragon Slayer.
Interesting. A nod, maybe.
A nod, probably. Vermithrax was the name of the dragon. Lots of Thraxes.
Yeah.
The showrunners are in the Hall of Faces. The Hall of Faces belonging to Faceless Men. The production team had a couple of familiar heads in the mix. Co-creators David Benioff and Dan Weiss were among the countless faces, while the head that area touches belonged to the mother of Barry Gower, the prosthetics supervisor for the show. And that, folks, are things
you missed
while watching Game of Thrones.
I missed all of them.
I watched Game of Thrones and I missed all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't shit on the show. I liked the show. It was just hard for me because of the divergence from the books and the fact that I read some of the most of the books, and it just fucked me all up. So, I mean, I love the show and I love the books. It was just hard to do both.
Well, the same holds, true with, The Walking Dead. People complain about the same thing.
Yeah, with the comic book and the
right.
Yeah, it's rough, but and it's true. You got to take one for what it is and the other for what it is, and then just live with it. If that's what you're gonna do.
If that's what you're gonna do.
But anywho, Steve,
Yes, sir.
my good man, do you have any news this week?
I might.
You good? I'm so glad.
Finally.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you for a news intro. That happens to be the old news intro that you just recycled.
Hey, you're into recycling shit.
That's right. You're right. Yeah.
Just fucking do the news.
From people.com. Speaking of Game of Thrones.
Ah,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. We, see how that flows into one another. The
That's
show
right.
and the news. It works. Game of Thrones actor Jerome Flynn, who I have no idea who he is, asked fans to stop buying direwolf-like huskies. And we're going to find out why. As the premiere of Game of Thrones' final season nears, tonight, as a matter of fact, according to Matt Knapp, one of the HBO show's actors is speaking about a unique issue that has arisen from GOT's success.
That
I gotta
stands for
move
Game
my
of
microphone.
Thrones.
What's that?
That stands for Game of Thrones, by the way.
I knew that. I didn't say GOTS.
Well, you
GOT.
would've.
I knew it was GOT. I knew it was a, what do they call that when you do that?
an acronym.
That's it, an acronym. In the new People for Ethical Treatment of Animals campaign, PETA for short, PETA.
Another acronym.
Yes, another acronym. Jerome Flynn, who plays Bronn in Game of Thrones, asked fans of the show to stop buying husky dogs in an effort to get their own dire wolves. In GOT, dire wolves are large wolves beloved for protecting the Stark children. Dire wolves also happen to look a lot like huskies. I wonder if that was because the budget was low and they had to use huskies.
They had to use whatever dogs they had lying
That's
around.
right. According to Flynn and PETA, there has been a spike in the number of huskies abandoned or surrendered to shelters. The experts believe many of these discarded dogs are coming from Thrones fans who bought huskies on impulse because of the breed's similarities to direwolves, and later found they were unprepared to care for the canines. The actual increase is 420% in the amount of homeless huskies, which is quite significant, actually.
Isn't that crazy? That the TV show has influenced so many people that they've actually affected the husky market of the world, trying to get their own fucking direwolf. You wouldn't want to own a direwolf if they were even a real thing. And
But huskies are cute and cuddly.
but who buys a? See, here's my deal. So you're a fan of the show, so you go out and buy a husky. That's not a fucking direwolf, man. That's a husky. This is my direwolf. No, it's not. Just
ScienceNewsForStudents.org is the name of the website. Boy, that's a long mouthful of words. Have we found Bigfoot? Not Yeti. See what they did there?
Oh, that was punny.
See? I like that. Yeti, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, the abominable snowman. Lots of people throughout history have claimed that hiding somewhere in one of the world's remote forests is a big, hairy, missing link between people and apes. It's in the new movie Missing Link. And wow, that was a genius title. An adventurer even finds one. He's sincere, funny, driven, and named Susan. Huh? But while many people have claimed, that's my sister's name, by the way. While many people have claimed that they have collected Yeti hair, footprints, or even poop, again, science. I love poop stories. Again, science has burst their own optimistic bubbles. Yet these searches for Bigfoot are not totally fruitless. The Sasquatch search might help scientists find out new things about other species. Yetis come from myths told by people who live in the Himalayas, a mountain range in Asia. Bigfoot and Sasquatch are North American versions of these creatures. But what are they exactly? No one really knows. It's a bit weird to think of a strict definition for Yetis since there isn't one really, says Darren Nayish. He's a writer and a paleontologist, someone who studies ancient organisms at the University of Southampton in England. Yeti, Nayish explains, is supposed to be human shaped, large, and covered in dark hair. It leaves tracks that look much like humans, but bigger. Much bigger, he says, as in 33 centimeters.
Legend of Sweetwater bigger?
Not quite.
Oh.
Or 13 inches for us Americans. Self-proclaimed.
You hear that shit, man?
No,
Sorry,
we're not going
I
to go
was
to the
muting my
13 inch.
laughter.
We're not going to go to the 13 inch reference again. I should have just left that part of the story out. Wow, man, this story is really long. Can I just skip to the end?
Skip it.
Like
Skip
the
it,
Sweetwater
Steve.
legend, Steve?
Skip it. Skip it, Steve.
Skipped. We're not going to find it, but it might help us find, like, dire wolves.
Sure.
That's the story.
We're not going to find
BusinessInsider.com. The frightening zoo theory could explain why we haven't discovered Yeti, we haven't discovered extraterrestrial life.
all of it.
All of it. Although humanity has been searching for traces of intelligent extraterrestrial life for decades, we haven't found any evidence, despite the billions of stars surrounding us. Given the infinite size of the universe and its age, it would seem almost impossible that intelligent life is unique to our planet. So why have we been unable to contact aliens as of yet? In 1950, I was doing good tonight. I was doing so good.
You were
It's a
great.
year. It's just numbers.
1950, physicist. See, I was reading ahead, and 50 and physicists
And you tripped.
sound so much alike.
You tripped.
So
Steve.
my eyes put the two together, and my mind said the two together.
Steve,
And
it's okay.
physicist is what
Steve.
was coming out of my mouth.
Steve,
Yes, sir.
we're with you, buddy.
Okay.
Daddy's got you.
Enrico Fermi came up with a possible reason why, which
The Fermi
later-
paradox?
Yes, later became known as the Fermi paradox. The scientist hypothesized that there is, in fact, intelligent extraterrestrial. Now
Estrogen.
I'm just messing up everything because of that. Extraterrestrial life capable of colonizing entire galaxies. However, quest for evidence to support this remains unsuccessful for various reasons. It's possible that aliens simply aren't able to understand us communicatively. Or that they're too far away. There's also theories that we've missed each other in time, as well as the hypothesis that aliens.
Aliens?
Ah,
No,
Simply
use your
aren't-
words, Steve. Use your words. Come on, buddy. Just like we rehearsed.
we didn't rehearse.
Steve.
The hypothesis that aliens simply aren't interested in us, which is probably true. San Francisco-based messaging San Francisco-based messaging extraterrestrial intelligence, or METI for short,
Mitty.
an organization committed to research and education on the search for intelligent life and contact with extraterrestrials. There's so many words in this article. Met recently,
Yeah, that's the thing about articles, Steve. It's a real bastard.
met recently in Paris to try to get to the bottom of why we continue to live in solitude in space.
And why we continue to have you read the news.
Some have put forward the idea that aliens are around us as omnipresent observers.
Ooh.
That sounds fun.
Ooh.
One hypothesis that came up is that aliens may well have acknowledged our existence and even observe us. However, they deliberately keep a distance, which makes sense. A serious response to the Fermi paradox is also put forward, and it isn't entirely new. In 1973, researcher John Ball of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology put forward the theory that aliens might be omnipresent, as I stated above, observing us as one might observe animals in a reserve or zoo. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm sure that our listeners understood that entire story just as it was read.
All of it, Steve.
Yes, sir.
All of it. You're the best. You're a newsman of a high caliber, Steve.
Extraordinaire is what I like to put
Yeah.
into my
If you could
title.
say extraordinary, that'd be a lot better.
Yeah. No, extraordinaire.
Oh,
It sounds more-
extraordinaire.
It sounds more,
You're like a news connoisseur, if you will, Steve.
yes.
Yes.
News connoisseur extraordinaire.
Yes.
That's right. That is
Uh,
the news, by the way.
That's
all of it.
great.
There isn't
All-
any more.
All of it?
That's it.
Great. Steve, I'm glad you can bring that to us every week.
I'm not.
Well, it is what it is.
I struggle, but I'll get it someday.
Someday you will bring us all a beautiful news segment.
Next week. I guarantee next week's news will be top notch.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Well, if I had support from my co-host, maybe.
Maybe. It's
Maybe.
possible, Steve, but I tend to doubt it.
Yeah.
But on that note, this has been the Fortean Slip, episode 73. What you missed while watching Game of Thrones. If you like this shit, hit the little thumbs up button. If you don't, hit the little thumbs down button. Leave a comment. Subscribe. Check out Matt Knapp at youtube.com/bigfootcrossroads and his other channel, Cryptid Tales. Check out Parabreakdown at youtube.com/parabreakdown. Check out Richard Allen. His comic strip is on Facebook, Bigfootin' with Keith and Colin. And he also has his blog, which the link is underneath the show. And check out our good friend Dred Funn at dredfunn.com and youtube.com/Dred Funn. We'll be back next week with our Easter episode. Steve, you ready for Easter?
I like eggs and I like bunnies and chocolate and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, we'll do an Easter episode just for
Okay.
you, Steve. Just for you. So we will see you guys next week. See ya!